A very pleasant good morning to you. Time now for Money Info, brought to you by Princeton Research with Mike King in Las Vegas and Charles Moskowitz live from Boston Strong. I guess we can say that, can't we, Charles? That's not a copyrighted term, is it? No, okay. We
Home of the World Series.
home of the World Series. Where are you? You're 9 million miles away from your phone, wherever it is.
Well, I'm 3-2 coming home. That's where.
There you go. Okay, that's now we got you, Mike. We just heard about Las Vegas in the CBS News there just a second ago, talking about housing.
It wasn't very good if they talked about housing.
I know. That's exactly where I was going with that. It's
but the housing market isn't looking good right now, and it's at a time when the FOMC tomorrow afternoon is going to release their discussion on what they're going to do with rates, and of course tapering. So it's timely that tomorrow, Wednesday, they might throw some cold water on this rally just to keep things intact. They often do that. So tomorrow, Wednesday, I would look for a little counter-trend day to the very strong market, which is continuing up here on Tuesday. Today, I would keep buying the dips.
Interesting.
But for tomorrow, I would certainly not want to be long after the opening.
Supposedly, and of course this is a CNBC survey that was taken this morning, they're talking about, and there were 40 respondents, economists and whomever, money managers type thing, saying that the quantitative easing will continue through 2014 to a tune of $650 billion, which apparently this year was $381 billion. Yikes! Where are we getting all this stuff? We're just printing this stuff, right?
We're printing it.
We're just printing it. So it's monopoly money. Well, whatever. So Mike, you think that they may cut it back just a little, huh?
No, I think the whole thing really is a psychology.
Yeah.
And really the bottom line is to get industry moving, get production going, and get people working.
Yep.
Around the world. It's a worldwide economy.
Yep.
You know, you never before you see a shoe drop in the Tiananmen Square in China, and we hear about it immediately here.
Yeah.
When did that ever happen before?
Yeah. And by the way, and this is, let's see, where is this from? This is from 24/7. Talking about Walmart. You know, they were bashed so hard by, all sorts of groups. They are talking about promoting, speaking of jobs, 25,000 people this quarter, which will bring them up to a total of 160,000 promotions in 2013. Hey, that's not too shabby. 160,000 people will have been promoted at Walmart, by the end of the year. Now, I have no idea.
So here's my question. Does it count when they promote a greeter to a cashier?
I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to being the greeter at Walmart. I mean,
you certainly have the voice and the attitude for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I want to tell you something. Being a greeter is not so bad. Do you think that's a bad job?
No, not at all.
So bad.
No, I mean, I've been doing a lot of practicing for McDonald's. Want fries with that, but the more I think about it, I think I'd rather be a greeter. There's something in my future there. I just sense it. But
I wonder if they're going to hire people to replace. This is Gary. Good morning. If they're going.
Oh, hey, Gary. How are you?
Fine. It's nice to hear people are being promoted. I wish there was a follow-up to that they released, that they will be hiring that many more people to fill the positions of those that have been promoted up.
Well, it's funny. The last line in the article says, "After that, the sky's the limit." Now, if that's all it says, oh really? Okay. Well, actually, I do know a couple people that have made phenomenal money. That a move from the stores to maybe the distribution centers, and we have one huge one here that serves all of South Florida, and they're making some pretty good coin there. I mean,
yeah, but that's hard work.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, you bet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have some retired friends who left here and went to Colorado.
Yep.
And I don't usually think of it this way, but evidently Colorado is a pretty big sub-hub for FedEx. And they got jobs at FedEx, and they said, it's not like you're, picking up and lugging 80 pounds worth.
Yeah.
But you are walking 24 miles a day. In the warehouse.
It's funny you mentioned FedEx. Yeah. Well, it's not a surprise with that huge airport that they have in Denver that they would make that kind of a sub-hub for Memphis. There are a lot of other smaller airports, and of course one that nobody knows about is St. Lucie International, where our airport.
Isn't that intergalactic?
Yeah, that is. It is, because there's no service there. Except a little puddle jumper that goes to the Bahamas. But, you can put 2 of the Palm Beach International airports in it, and it comes very close to the size of Orlando International. And we're talking...
Which is giant.
Which is giant. So you're talking yet potentially a mega airport, but, they've been talking about that for the 20 years we've lived here. But, it's one of those things. It's amazing. But it is very interesting you say Denver, because obviously that would serve the entire northern tier of the U.S. And that airport, it takes a blizzard to shut Stapleton down. I mean, it really does.
Which is good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They have them all the time.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you remember what a big deal that airport was with that monumental...
Yes, I do.
Baggage moving system?
Yep. And I was flying in with...
Hopefully 10 years they've finally worked out some of the kinks.
Yeah.
Because it was a dramatic disappointment.
Yeah, that's true.
Originally.
That's true. Yeah. But they worked their way through it and somehow managed to get through it before the new marijuana laws. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The Labor Department reporting wholesale inflation fell 0.1% in September. Now, apparently, that excludes, here we go, I love the way they do this, food and energy. Gee, thank you very much.
Nobody eats or drives.
That's right. Nobody eats or drives. Amazing. Charles, remember last...
I mean, imagine how bad that, if that statistic actually made any sense whatsoever or had any real impact in the economy. Can you imagine what Burger King and Wendy's and McDonald's would do if that number continued to go in the direction that it does without driving or eating?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, they might as well close those windows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It just shows you how meaningless some of these statistics actually are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was another one. There was a lot of information out today. There was another one. We had confidence that was down. Oh, inventories, business inventories were up as expected. Well, the headline number wasn't, but the first adjustment put it exactly as expected. So it really didn't have any real effect on the market. But that's another big one because manufacturing down and inventories up, or manufacturing up and inventories down, that says a lot about the economy when you get those combinations.
Did you guys happen to watch Squawk Box today? I just saw a replay of an interview that was really interesting because I've never heard of this company at all. It is called Care Cloud. And obviously, Charles, your wife would probably know something about this bunch, but it is 4 doctors, and they apparently surveyed tons of doctors, like 5,000 of them, who are talking about the pressures that they will face. And of course, you don't think of a doctor as being a small business.
Oh yeah,
but they are. You know, and
you don't think about a church being a small business either, but they are the biggest group of small businesses in the U.S.
Yeah, you're that's interesting. Yeah, you're probably right. But anyway, these doctors are just saying in this survey that the legislative requirements are just mind-boggling to them. You know, and they're turning to a lot of various IT companies to help them get through a lot of this Obamacare stuff, you know, and again, that's a side of this I haven't even thought of. My wife is still trying to figure out why she and her mother have to have mandated maternity insurance. Yes. Well, you know, hey Charles, it's
not a chance.
It's never too late.
Yeah, right. Let me be the first. No, but you know, you make a very important point on that, because I know my doctor, my primary care, whose specialty I guess is cardiology. She told me in no uncertain terms, you know, what time I have to come in, and I had to be fasting. And she also told me that I should, even though I was just coming in to have blood drawn and really wasn't necessary to really have to deal with her, told me to set aside 15 minutes because that's how long it takes to put the information that she is required to input on every single visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it's going to get worse. You know, I hear from my wife. I mean, she's doing surgery 10 hours a day, and she hears the scuttlebutt amongst the other physicians is that they're just going to go. Those that are self-employed are just going to go to a cash-only model, or just not sign up for Medicaid or Medicare. Just that's it. They can't make any money. The Obamacare thing is killing them, and they're like, "That's it. We're done." And it's just going to create more and more problems. It won't be 15 minutes for forms. It'll be 30 days waiting to see your doctor for your stomach pain.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Gary, because you know that's there's the doctors here in this area have all gone to like that whole electronic billing and electronic stuff. You know, they bring laptops in and stuff like that. But you are right. I mean, your time with the doc is really limited. You're seeing...
And in your market, Greg, it's absurd. I mean, can you imagine what the blowback is going to be in a state with, an average age of resident up where you are, that people are going to actually have to pay for, again, maternity? I mean, there are other examples, but that one is just, the most glaring.
Hey, well, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Come on, Charles, have some imagination.
I have plenty of imagination.
Are you trying?
But I also had a vasectomy, so I know it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, man. I was wondering when somebody would say that on this show. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's okay. So much for the maternity.
Is that like
in
the
that
Groucho
case.
thing? The word came down before the show. If you say vasectomy, you win the money?
Well,
most of your listeners probably don't even remember that.
That's right. Yeah. Oh no, I'll bet some of them do. Now, if do any of you guys own Deutsche Bank stock? Slightly different there today. Their profile like 94% down on a 1.2 billion euro charge. Hello, man, that would be something if you had to wake up to that.
this is one of my biggest problems with government, number one, but number two, the market. Because, we have so dramatically demonized and made U.S. banks less competitive worldwide. And the way that it really comes back for me on a very practical basis is you don't really get a sustainable bull market without financials. And they just keep on beating up on the financials worldwide. I mean, can you imagine if we do, in fact, have too big to fail, which is a question for the ages. You don't really know until one of them fails, and you either have to fix it or not. But can you imagine Jamie Dimon having to put up with all of the crap that the government is throwing at J.P. Morgan on the basis of things that Bear Stearns did 5 years before the government asked J.P. Morgan to take them over? I mean, the structure of the business is tough enough, but when you demonize the group, and then you ask them to help, and they help, and you continue on that vein. I mean, that acquisition, I don't know how it shakes out in dollars and cents, what they paid for, what they got, and what the value of that was, because it wasn't a, quote, profit-based transaction.
Well, they made a lot of money on that. And
I hope that they did, because they paid out $20 billion on it.
When Glass-Steagall when Glass-Steagall was canceled, the banks were able to get into rampant speculation and commodity trading, and they got into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but that wasn't J.P. Morgan's fault. I mean, Mike, I remember when I know that you remember when Goodbody went under, and Merrill was the big hammer on the block, and they took that over. I mean, it's no different then in 1980 or 1975 than it is today with Bear Stearns. It's really a tough situation.
Richard Surber.
Let's welcome Richard Surber.
Hey guys, I got a question for you. Is there a way someone can listen to this streaming online right now?
That you can.
WPSL.com, right?
Just go to WPSL.
Or go to Princeton Research. Go to PrincetonResearch.com. You can listen and see the whole thing.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Either way, you've got several different avenues, or WPSLTV.com. It's like 3 different sources for you there, Richard.
WBSLE?
PSL, as in Port St. Lucie.
Okay, WP.
PSL, Paul, Sam, Louis Armstrong. Oh.
And we had Richard on quite some time ago in the past about what he was doing and how he was growing his business, which is an area that has rapidly expanded since then and has become more common, not in a bad way, in a very positive way. But we'll let him tell you about the spa salon type business that he is growing and increasing in numbers. Why don't you tell us, Richard?
Well, I've opened up a new location since last time we spoke as well.
So where are you located, Richard?
Why don't you tell the people about the product?
Yeah,
what the product is a very recognizable high-end name.
Yeah, well, the product is Aveda, and Aveda is owned by Estee Lauder, and I think everybody knows who Estee Lauder is. So, I mean, the thing that's so great about Aveda, and I think the thing that really rallies the troops around Aveda is what they stand for. And, they stand for clean water initiatives, helping, local tribes and local peoples, like the holiday gift set that they produce. It's done from paper that's milled like right on site. So these are indigenous, peoples that are in the Himalayas. And then 1 year, I think there's some indigenous peoples out of South America that to help support. They're doing a big push for basically to save the bees. So it gives a lot of these stylists a purpose beyond just selling hair care. And of course, the product is manufactured here in the United States, and they use 100% wind energy in order to do all the manufacturing. And the product is, for the most part, most instances, it's like 99%, naturally derived. So you see a lot of these women that are getting Brazilian straightening solutions on their hair, and what many people may not know is a lot of that stuff has a lot of toxic chemicals, like formaldehyde. So the service providers using some of those other products potentially could develop some health issues,
You think?
Yeah.
Formaldehyde? Are you kidding?
Formaldehyde. Yeah.
Oh, man. Instant cancer. Thank you.
Wow. Aveda stands for a lot of really, really great things, and that's the reason why I got in the business.
Well, now, where have you taken Aveda? Is what, AVEDA?
Correct.
Okay. And what's your website?
Our website is www.landissalons.com.
Okay.
So you can take a look at the 3 different facilities we have, and these aren't just they're not a typical salon that you would think of in Salt Lake City, and I haven't even really seen much of anything like in LA. These are 4,000 square foot facilities. We have over 22 chairs in the flagship location. I think we're pushing just around 100 staff members at this point, with about probably around 50, 60 stylists.
Because you were in downtown Salt Lake, right?
Yeah, the newest location is at City Creek, which is a mall that's been under development for 10 years. But that's just predominantly a product store. You can look at some of the interior shots on that. We have some stuff up on our Facebook page and whatnot. It's a beautiful, tiny location, but it's this mall is $1 billion facility. It has this encapsulated roof that, like a lot of the sports domes, where it closes when it's bad weather and it opens up when it's great weather.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
And it doesn't have any problems with the snow in Salt Lake, huh?
Nope. They even have heated walkways on so throughout the facility.
Wow, that's wild. Now, that's outside of downtown Salt Lake, though, right?
That's right. That is right in the heart of downtown.
It is in the heart of downtown. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Right next to the Mormon church. That's the only reason why I think they were able to build such a facility, is because the church backed it. So
right. They
were able to really overspend in most real estate experts' opinions.
Yeah, which for folks who don't know, the Mormon Tabernacle is like literally the center part of town. You could go to the north or northwest, and they're all streets that kind of emanate from that. So that's very cool. Well, now, didn't you say your original salon is near the arena, though, where the Utah Jazz play?
It's about, I'd say that's the second salon is actually just blocks away.
Okay.
From that. Yeah,
okay.
From Energy Solutions at this point. That's the second location.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Called the Marmalade District. So I guess they used to can a lot of different marmalade preserves way back in the day in that particular area. So it's kind of an up-and-coming neighborhood.
Wow, that town has changed so much since I used to do college sports there back in the 70s and 80s. It's amazing. I just can't wait to go back. It sounds like you guys have just grown so much there.
Yeah, they've gotten light rail and the whole bit. So it's really grown up. And we opened our initial salon here. It's going on. It'll be 8 years. November 7th, the initial salon, and we started out. We hit the ground running. First year we did about $1.2 million in revenue, but we're we're going to be pushing $2.5 million revenue at the single location this year. And that location has been profitable from, I don't know, after the second year worth of operation, we were turning a profit at that standalone location. So, and then combined, we're going to be doing probably close to probably do 3.6 million in revenue this year. So we're really laying the foundation to go on an acquisition spree. But first we really want to get the model down through, we want to really get it down. So we want to open up, I would like to do probably 6 corporate-owned locations, really get the systems down, and then go out there and look at other successful Aveda salons. I think the top 100 Aveda salons gross somewhere around $250 million. And the thing about those really successful salons, most of the owners, they don't have an exit strategy. And they're approaching, I know 60 really isn't old, in terms of today, but a lot of people I know are hitting their 60s, and I want to slow down. So I think there's this tremendous opportunity in this middle market for a public salon company. It hasn't really been done that I can see. So the only public salon company I know of is Regis, but that's not a middle market or a high end, salon franchise.
Right. I could see your franchise just exploding. In the early days of ESPN, we had our office, West Coast Bureau on Wilshire, right by in Beverly Hills, and right by Rodeo Drive, as a matter of fact. And I could see you guys on Rodeo Drive. I could see you guys by a Gear Deli or something like that in San Francisco, or across the bay. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of like real high-end neighborhoods that I think you guys would just be a lock for.
Actually, Aveda has been pushing for someone to go into the San Francisco market. Been pushing on us, actually, to try to do it, but we just want to make sure that we're ready to do it. A lot of these salons, each one of the stylists is basically an independent contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't necessarily any quality control. There's not necessarily a team atmosphere. They're all kind of doing their own thing, setting their own hours, dressing how they want to dress. The service from one fighter to the next is not consistent, and that's the difference between us and some of these other places.
Sure.
Even like in LA, you would think that you would be able to get a really consistent high-end service, and that's the exception rather than the rule.
No, it is. Very much so. Even if you look, Carol and I both, when we were in television in Los Angeles, went to a stylist on Rodeo Drive, and even in his shop, we both went to him, and he was the owner. But you could tell just looking at some of the other cutters and stylists in there that they just did their own thing and didn't really care all that much, and they were just there. So
the lifeblood of a salon is obviously having really talented people, and I don't think the talented people in most instances are born. You have to work in order to get these guys up to the level they need to be. So, like one of our core, cultural tenets is, education, and, if you're not growing, then you're rotting, basically. So, we take a lot of these kids right out of beauty school, and we put them through an 11-month program before they're allowed to go on the commission side. And they have to meet certain benchmarks to prove that they're capable of charging the higher prices and doing the level of service that our guests demand. So
sure.
They're going all day Monday, which is usually a theory class, and then Wednesday they're required to bring in a couple of different models, or if they don't have a model, sometimes mannequin heads. But then they have a passport where all these different styling and color methods are signed off on by our lead educators. And at the end of the 11-month program, usually what happens is they follow everything we're telling them to do. They'll have a full book of clients. They'll have a great wage. and they hit the ground running. And then after that, I require them to do 6 outside approved education courses a year to maintain the skill set. And then we sit down with them on a quarterly basis and coach to their behavior, which means, like, what are you talking about with your guests? Are you talking about predominantly what you did on the weekend, or, is the focus going to be on the reason why the guest, came into the salon?
Right.
Which is, 9 times out of 10, their hair.
Richard, where do your cutters then, where do they get continuing ed? I mean, I would think what you're doing is a lot more than just cutting hair.
It's cutting hair. I mean, getting a great actual technical haircut or color, with all the research that Aveda has done, is actually like number 7 on the list. I mean, the number 1 thing is basically how you made that guest feel, when they walk out the door. So a lot of that has to do with, the behaviors, so what the conversation is, a really good consultation to make sure that you guys are on the same page. But to back up and answer your question, a lot of times what we'll do is Aveda is probably the strongest company that I know in the beauty industry with regard to education. So they have professionals that teach all over the world. So what we'll do is they have a calendar they put out, I think, twice a year. We'll choose different courses that we think our staff needs, and we'll fly out 2 stylists. And those stylists will take that course, and in exchange for us flying them out there, putting them up, and letting them see a new city and improve themselves, they'll bring that information back, and they're required to teach it to at least 15 people that attend their class. So, because I think the best way to learn something is to teach it. So
interesting.
It's really interactive that way.
That's
and then the vice president of our company is what they call an Aveda Pure Professional, and he's actually worked with Aveda's global creative director. Her name is Antoinette Beenders, who's been in the industry forever. So that's another great thing about Aveda is you have direct access to some of the top talent in the industry. So.
And you see, if you can't go through a kind of lifestyle magazine, you cannot go through it without seeing ads for the Aveda product line. I mean, it's all over the place.
Sure.
Yeah, they're really pushing a new product called Embody, which helps. I think it's probably almost an equivalent to Rogaine, where it helps people, keep their hair, and it's always coming out with something that's new and cutting edge as well. So there's always something new to talk about.
And are your salons primarily or exclusively female oriented?
I don't know if they're definitely not exclusively. I don't know if I would say primarily not. I'd say probably 35% of our guests are actually men.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad number. I mean, when you consider, a guy like me, whether I have the money to spend on it or not, find it easier to go to, Supercuts and pay $14 because my hair looks the same. I don't even look at it when I walk out because if it's a little too short, it'll grow back. If it's a little too long, I'll be back sooner. I just don't think about it. But
I'll tell you what, though, if I got you, Mike, if I got you into one of our salons, you'd think about it because it's not really, it's not necessarily we do a great haircut. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
It's called extras. So they'll do a scalp and shoulder massage. They're going to do an aroma therapy piece on you. Then you're going to go back to our shampoo bowls, which are shiatsu massage chairs. Then they're going to do, after they finish doing the shampoo and conditioner, they're going to put a hot towel facial on, do a hot towel facial on you. Then they're going to bring you back, and they're going to style you up. So for the 45 minutes or the hour.
But I think that the educational side of this is a big issue, especially with men. I actually did go to a Supercuts recently, and there was a girl there who I knew who went through telling me about the fact that they had a new shampoo line they were trying to introduce men to. And in order to do that, they were offering a free shampoo. Now, if you've ever had your hair shampooed, it's one of the most relaxing things that you can possibly have done in a public setting. And the fact of the matter was, she was telling me that 80% of the people that she was offering it to were not even taking it. So offering it for nothing and still not having it taken, speaks volumes for the educational side of, of the client.
So the thing is, are you trying to sell them and shove something down their throat that they, think they don't want, or are you just educating them on what you're going to be doing?
Richard,
and here these guys couldn't give it away.
Yeah, but and the thing about the Landis though is that you are actually selling an experience. You're not like you say, the haircut is like number 7 on the list. It's you're selling an entire experience of going in there. Yeah, I think it's a cool concept. It really is. Now,
people easily pay what, $60-$80 for, a massage.
Yep.
So our starting price point, was around $20. It goes up to like $90, for a basic haircut, and the color service is, where there's really good margin there. But I was speaking to the gentleman yesterday, and he was like, I'm paying $60 to go into your joint. You got a great, business model there, and I never would have spent that before, but I'm hooked. I won't go anywhere else because I'm able to unwind, and the haircut looks great. It grows out nicely, and I love it.
Yeah, the whole experience sounds very cool. And now, Avita's products, are they classified as natural products? They're not organic, I don't think, are they? Or are they?
They don't have the organic certification, but they are natural.
They're close.
It is like a lot of the stuff is 100% natural, or 99% naturally derived. I just don't think they have the certification. There are a couple of different and ingredients in there that are designed to preserve the product. I just don't think the quality, if it was 100% organic, would be as good as it is. But it's something that's but it's very safe for you. There's another company out there that was called Intelligent Nutrients, where the stuff is designed where you can eat it. And the founder of Aveda just created that line. His name is Horst Reckelbacher. But it has its pitfalls, with trying to do something with that out there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you're looking for investors, I presume, to take this company to the next level?
Yeah, the parent company's name is Green Endeavors.
Green Endeavors.
And the symbol's GRNE.
GRNE.
Yeah, but GRNE. But the idea is, what I want to do is raise enough funds to probably do at least four additional lifestyle salons.
And what do they run to start up, would you say, Richard?
I like having $500,000 a piece because I go really heavy on the marketing.
Right.
Initially. So, and, give or take right around there for each location. So,
where do you spend a lot of your marketing dollars in Salt Lake?
And initially we did a lot of different fashion shows and big events, and then focused, on a lot of it on the guests. But beyond that, everything is really online. You really cultivate, reviews on Yelp, City Search, Google Places, search engine optimization techniques on our website. We're we're in the process of hiring a videographer. We're going to be doing we're going to be launching a new campaign called See Beauty Everywhere, and we're going to feature guests, stylists, other purveyors around the city. What's beautiful, basically, to them. So I'm going to put all those videos up online and tell everybody's story, and we'll tie it into our YouTube page and get the Instagram going as well, and push it through Facebook. So social media is huge. I mean, no one goes to the paper yellow pages.
No, not anymore. No, they're dead. It's very interesting you say that. It's and take this to the next level, if you will. Using Sport Clips as an example. Of course, they've got ESPN and all of their locations. But think about when you use your video guy, make sure that that video is not only good in, say, a Salt Lake, but could also play in all of the other salons that you plan on opening around the country, and then you can make it kind of a who's who and just turn it into, like, if you will, like a closed circuit television station. So yeah, that could be very cool, and that would really separate you out from from the norm. Yeah, great ideas. You got some really.
Now, Richard,
really good ideas.
you're not taking independent operators and rolling them into the company. You're basically start from scratch, or are you?
At this point, yes. But once we get the infrastructure in place, then I would look at other independent contractors, but they have to be team-based or commission-based salons, and they would probably have to be already using Aveda,
right?
Because that's the model that we're working off of.
Well,
that'd be the idea.
You had mentioned about a lot of the Aveda shops are owned by older folks, and that could be their exit plan. If all of a sudden you were to help them out a little bit, and then bring the Landis Salons brand, if you will, to the forefront. I think that's a great idea.
Well, I mean, a lot of these guys, quite frankly, in the salon business are better operators than I am as far as the salon goes. But the piece that I bring is, I'm a California bar securities attorney, and I have a finance background, and I understand the ins and outs of public companies. And I don't think there's no one that I know in the salon business that has that skill set. So that's what I'd be bringing to the table. But I mean, you have a guy named Ray Chavello that's been in the business forever, and speculation is that his business is probably grows somewhere probably around on their own $30, $40, $50 million, and
wow.
He's out of Canada, and then some of the northern states, here in the U.S. So one guy, does that. The other guy down south is called, Van Michael Salons, and he's out of, in Miami and Atlanta, in those markets. And
yes,
I know a lot of his, those salons on their own in those particular type of markets are doing $2, $3, $4, $1 million a piece. So those are the type of guys we'd like to.
So this is clearly an opportunity to buy a stock for 7 or 8 cents and see a quick double.
Well, right now it's around a penny. So I mean, the market cap isn't that high, and we're bumping up against Well, I think the next quarter we're going to show a net profit, and this thing's one of the first times. So
the next quarter being
third quarter. We haven't released third quarter yet.
You're on a calendar year, Richard?
Yeah, we're on a calendar year.
Okay. Yeah, I've looked at the stock chart, and the stock, has been consolidating really nicely, moved up into a new area in the past, 5 or 6 weeks, and is consolidating in that area. It really wouldn't be hard to see the stock double. I mean, and it has pretty decent volume every day. So, it's not like a lot of these little-known deals that, trade by appointment and have a huge spread and, no real history behind it. And frankly, this one is different in that way.
Yeah, it sounds great. Well, again, stock symbol, Richard?
GRNE.
Okay.
And the website address?
That would be green-endeavors.com. And if you want to look at the salon website, it's landissalons.com, and we trade on the OTC market.
That sounds great. Well, hey, don't be a stranger. It's been a long time since you've been on. The moment I heard your voice, I remembered that you were in Salt Lake and the whole thing. So, gosh, good luck to you. It sounds like you're on the right track.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Charles.
I believe KC is on.
Oh, hey, Casey.
Hey, it makes me want to go and get my hair washed right now.
There you go.
So I know that KC's product is just phenomenal. The new product. Just tell us about it, KC. The new product.
We're supposed to start. I'm getting a real education in television advertising.
Oh no!
But
Wait a minute.
I should have read a book. Now I could probably write a book.
I don't like this supposed to start.
Well, the agency said if you do this thing called remnant rates or standby rates or something like that, you get a huge discount. It's like a 70% discount.
Yes.
Because that sounds good to me. Sign me up.
No.
We had everything all geared up and ready to go, and I get an email yesterday saying ESPN is sold out, so we're bumping you a week.
Exactly.
Oh, now I get it.
Now
I understand why you get a discount.
I would fire the agency on the spot. I mean, it's like you. God, I hate these people. I'm sorry. This is where maybe I really split from a lot of general managers, but ad agencies are there for one reason. That's to design a print ad. You get them into broadcasting in most cases, and they don't have a clue. But they all buy cheap ads. They will all go that remnant route. And I'm sorry you got caught in that. Bad scene.
I'm guessing there's a better way to go. Digital has been and is my entire life. Just going to mass media is just testing. We're testing it to see what it does to our cost to acquire a customer. But it's not cheap. The CPM rates are much higher than the CPM rates you pay for digital. But it's all about the conversion, getting eyeballs to the site.
Oh yeah. Well, what you can do is I know it's a pain in the neck, but you've got. Especially where you are, you've got Bright House Cable. You can deal or have your agency deal with them. Over on this side of the state of Florida, you've got Comcast. Through much of the United States, you've got Comcast or Time Warner. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 biggies. Of course, the agency would have to work a little bit, but you're paying them handsomely to do that. And you could probably get some. You're not talking over the air. You're talking cable. You could get some really, really good rates. Believe me.
That's something I could do on my own?
Sure you can. I just did it for a friend who's starting another business, and, I've got rates for, 6 states. Come on. It's not that difficult, and you could just say, okay, I want to target this area of Salt Lake or Spokane or Seattle, and just give me a number. Period. That's it. I mean, it's like they just feed it into a computer anyway. Oh, God, I'm sorry. You got caught in that mess. Oh well. I wish we had talked
be on the air next Monday for 2 weeks. But we're concentrating up in the New York, New Jersey area. That's where we have our highest per capita concentration of customers. So it's obviously, a market, a prime market for us.
Right.
That's where we're going to be running this test for 2 weeks, assuming they have some airtime for us at some point.
I would think so. It's just, oh, man. Just have them contact the cable companies. I mean, they're out there. And they're, believe me,
we're running it through Comcast. That's the that's the cable provider.
Exactly, and they're willing to deal big time. Take my word for it. So yeah, hit your agency up and hit them hard, and just say, hey, look, make this happen. And they'll do it. They will find a way to do it.
Okay.
I'm sorry you went through this. Give me a call next time.
Sorry.
Just give me a call next time. I'll even put you in touch with a Comcast person, and they can bounce ideas off you too. I mean, it's, oh boy. Oh well. We all learn. And agencies will say, oh, I can, I guarantee that you'll be spending pennies on what you would normally spend dollars. Exactly. And you know what? You get what you pay for. You're going to get. And the thing is here, and of course one of our major competitors, a huge company based in San Antonio, they'll do the same thing in their own market here, where a salesperson may sell ads in this market, but they get stepped on by the Palm Beach salespeople, or they get stepped on twice by the Miami people or Orlando people. So I mean, it's like, oh yeah, it does happen. But just take care with the news side of this, and and don't be a spectator. I mean, that's the big thing, guys. We're out of time. Casey, it'll get better. Believe me, it will get better. Comcast will do a good job for you too. Believe me. Mike King, Charles Moskowitz. See you next week. This is Money Info, brought to you by Princeton Research. PrincetonResearch.com. Go to the webpage. Don't forget the texting service. And don't forget Charles's conference call tomorrow. This is WPSL, Port St. Lucie. Sorry about getting on that soapbox, Casey.